I should figure out what bridge I'm on, but if you can see to, I guess, my left, there's a Swiss flag because I am now, Geoffrey is now in the third person. Geoffrey is now in Basel, Switzerland, the third largest city in Switzerland, close by where my uncle and his wife and my two cousins were. My father and I continued the journey, let's just say, without getting into the details. I'm like really conflicted. I was just talking to some passers-by because I was waiting for them to pass, and they were really friendly, and they were from a different part of Switzerland. I couldn't pronounce it. I didn't hear. I think it started with an S, Son or something. I don't know. They're still like close by, but they're looking at the Rhine River, which is under the bridge. And I think behind me is the direction of the flow of the Rhine River. So behind me is north, because if I understand correctly, the Rhine River begins like in the middle of the continent of Europe, like around, I think around Switzerland and Germany. I think like close to where I am. I have to double check. But and then goes to the North Sea. I hope I didn't get that like way off. But it's like a northern flowing river. I guess I have to double check. But so. Yeah, I'm at the Rhine River. I wanted to get different like humans to get on camera, and I would have asked. And like Basel is really lively. We've been here for like I think like 8 hours, my father and I, since like earlier when it was light out. I think we got here at like, actually it's been like 12 hours because we got here at like 2 p.m. or something, and now it's like 2:30 in the morning on a Saturday, and I guess different passers-by are just walking around and enjoying their night, their Saturday night. And Basel is really lively, and I don't want to like. Okay, so the reason I don't want to ask anybody to get on camera, and maybe I'll change my mind again, is because I talked about so many religious things, and like I had so many like painful moments thinking, and it's not a lie, it's not fake. Just yeah, so passersby, but I had so many like painful moments about religious realities, and it has to do with like Israel and Iran at war, Israel and the United States versus Iran in war. It has to do with the Holocaust. It has to do with, I think, the persecution of the Middle Eastern, the persecution of Asians. A lot of different things, and why would I bring it up? I don't know. I just I didn't want to be sort of like a hypocrite to where I would just give me a second. I have to let them pass and enjoy. Oh no, they're looking at the phone. So yeah, I just didn't want to talk to anyone and then like put them on like a channel where like I've said some like things that were like I'm happy I said what I said. But look, I'm gonna have to get back to you, having some calls from my father. So, talk to you soon. All right, so now it's Sunday morning. I don't want to be too loud because of like what I'm going to be discussing, but this is the Rhine River again. I keep going to like the Rhine River in Basel, and in Basel, Switzerland, the third largest city in Switzerland. And I just wanted to say, like, everything is so beautiful. Like, of course, like God created the earth, the universe. But look what the Swiss have done with this city. You can't really tell. I'd need a stronger camera, but like just looking back there, like the buildings are so beautiful. Everything's so wonderfully constructed, and humans are nice around here. They're kind. They say they're pleasant. But there has to be a quotation. I'm not sure if it's from the Quran or if it's from the Holy Bible. And I could be wrong, but I think it's that God only knows what's in the heart of all like men, all humans. I didn't mean to say men. I think the actual word is men, but humans. God knows what's in the heart, what's in the mind, what's in the hands, what the plans are of all humans, and we don't as humans. Like I guess I didn't understand when I was younger, and I'm hoping, even though like I went to UCLA and then I went to Harvard Law School, and the Harvard Law School thing didn't work out. And there were a lot of reasons for that, for this particular situation to not have worked out. But I'd really like to be involved in like a Middle Eastern peace process, and I think it has to do with healing the Jews. And I've been thinking about like healing, and I was thinking humans would like, or like, you know, viewers would be like, do you mean like sexual healing? If anyone's still watching, no, I don't mean like sexual healing. I mean like healing. I don't understand exactly if the Jews know. We who aren't Jews, we're not like entirely aware what your feelings are. We don't necessarily know that you could be potentially feeling tortured by what the Holocaust was, and the mistreatment of the Jews by, you know, God's chosen people. May God's chosen people win, by many different populations, but disproportionately, like in the Holocaust in Europe, what had happened, and it's like, how could you not know? You didn't want to know, but no. There are those of us that wish we did understand. Like, I'm a Shia Muslim guy, you know, born in the USA, like of the USA, but like and you know, the USA is very closely allied to Israel, for instance, and disproportionately, you could say allied to the Jews. You could say, in a sense, but you know, I don't think everyone understands the feeling of being tortured in pain when you think about the scenario of, not the scenario, the situation which had happened, I guess you could say beginning in the 1930s, but like the 1940s, with the murder of 6 million Jews, among many millions of humans in World War II, but very evil, an evil, mean, disgusting process of murdering so many humans in such a short amount of time. But yeah, so we don't know, like we as humans don't know. Like, I used to be such a Europhile, and I would like love Basel, I would love Germany, I would love France, wherever I could visit, London, you know, the UK, and I've been to like Italy anyways. But I didn't realize that you know, I'm looking at humans and I see they're somewhat pleasant compared to the USA. The USA is sort of aggressive, what the humans are like over there, where I'm from. But only God knows what's in the mind and hearts of humans, and always has. God, everything God does is perfect, and like nothing could be exactly as perfect as what God does. But so I don't know if it is time, I guess. I'm a big Europhile. I'm a white-skinned guy. You can tell, like, I'm sort of white-skinned, but I'm Middle Eastern. I'm Shem descended on my father's side, and Japheth Dravidian on my mother's side. It's time that, to me, in my opinion, I personally, and the Shia Muslims at the very least, sign on to being on the side of the Jews. And we can't let what happened in Europe just be like, okay, and it's over. It isn't over. And you know, I'd really encourage, if anyone's watching, like any of the Jews, to actually explain, aside of what's happening with Hamas, aside of what's happening with Iran, and those issues that are happening like at the moment, please explain to us what your feelings are about the Holocaust, approaching, you know, nearly a century after. We still have a couple of decades, but if you would, please share that with us. And I am on your side, you know, because you are God's chosen people, and may you win. Thank you. All right, I'm not as tall as I thought. So like I'm under 6'2", and I can't get like everything in the shot. I can just get my like shoulders and up. But behind me, up there is I guess it's a cathedral. I don't know if it's like, I haven't been up there yet. I haven't been up the stairs because I just went and had some like Vietnamese food. Today is the last day that I'm in Europe. Tomorrow morning, like before like 10 a.m., I'm in the air going back to Munich, and then from Munich to the USA, Texas. And yeah, I just wanted to sum some things up, but I don't want them to be like listening to me because they be understanding English and everything. So yeah, I wanted to do my own like Basel convention. Like, you know, there was like, I think there was the Treaty of Versailles, and I think there's like a Geneva Convention. I need to do my research. But I want to do my own Treaty of Basel, or Treaty of, yeah, not convention. I'll do the Treaty of Basel, and it's gonna have to do with, if you give me just a moment so they can not listen to me so much. It's gonna have to do with, I think, so Switzerland, for instance, was neutral, if I remember correctly, within the first couple of world wars. And a lot of humans are probably like on their side, saying that, like, you know, neutral was good. So for instance, if I mention the Holocaust, they're saying they weren't involved. Okay, but what I can say is, like, even Englishmen, if it comes down to it, and they were like against what was happening in the Holocaust, as far as I understand, possibly like all won't have been for what the Holocaust was, but and they weren't neutral. They were like actively working against the Axis powers, you know, Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. But I think if it comes down to it, aren't the Romans, you know, the individuals who were involved with crucifying Jesus Christ, aren't they like relatives after Noah, in terms of Noah's sons, in terms of Japheth? Aren't they relatives, like close blood cousins to each other, the Europeans? So if it comes down to it, I think eventually we will have found that, you know, the Europeans are probably anti-Jews, anti the Jews, and I'm gonna have my Treaty of Versailles sort of scenario happening, where I will, you know, I'm a Shia Muslim. My background is, my parents are born in Iran. My father is Shem descended. My mother is Japheth Dravidian. So I just want to say, like, I am 100% for God's chosen people. May God's chosen people win. And if that means that I have to, and I do think Europe is beautiful, and much of what I enjoy of having lived as a child was relative to enjoying going to Europe for vacation, to see my uncle, to see my aunt. And I went with my mother. My mother loved Europe also. My father was a little more not interested so much in Europe. He loves the USA a lot more, but my mother loved the USA as well. But she really enjoyed Europe and much about Germany especially. But so I'm aware that Adolf Hitler was Austrian, but I did want to say that you know, I would be forever against the German Adolf Hitler and the rest of the Germans and the rest of the continent of Europe, and whoever else would be anti the Jews. Like I've tried to explain, I don't know how the Jews feel about, like, I'm retarded. I cannot physically understand. My brain does not work too well to understand if they still feel a sense of torture about the Holocaust. But yeah, so yeah in Farsi means like one or a, or like a single instance of something. And Shoah, I think in Hebrew, means the Holocaust. So Yeshua, who King of the Jews, who was leading the way against the Romans, he, I think his name, if you use Farsi and Hebrew, at the moment you're talking about a Holocaust. No like a Holocaust forever, no every day being a Holocaust and the torture continuing. Because I feel like there's too much force being placed anti the Jews, and it's making them just try to do anything to survive. With, you know, with what's happening with the Nakba, what's happening with the war against Iran. And I think the pressure should be taken off of the Jews after so many thousands of years of what they've done, what they've achieved, and what they continue to achieve. Because, you know, humans say, like, the Jews are to be blamed for what happened to Jesus Christ. They were terrified, I guess. I'm guessing. I wasn't there. Obviously, I don't know what's in men's hearts, what's in humans' hearts, men, women, wife, adult, child, male, female. I don't know. But I just assumed they were terrified of the Romans and they weren't ready. And Jesus Christ, he only had like a certain amount of time. And he did say he is the way, the truth, and the life. So he did do the correct way. And it wasn't the Jews that persecuted Jesus Christ, nor tortured, nor killed him. That was the Romans. Despite what you want to argue, the Romans did to Jesus Christ the crucifixion, his execution, the capital punishment, the death penalty to a beyond innocent individual. And the Jews have been punished for being God's chosen people out of jealousy for so long that I can't allow it to continue without my conscience having been involved. And I'm hoping the U.S. and I'm a Republican. I'm of the U.S. I was born in the U.S. I'm hoping the U.S. and Israel and the Jews, and remember, Israel and the Jews are different. But Israel, the Jews, the U.S. and Iran can work together so that the wars are moved out of Asia, the wars that have been happening for like a century, the genocides, the persecutions. Not totally, no, it wasn't only in Asia. I don't want to paint that picture, but out of Asia and hopefully back into Europe. If there isn't going to be a scenario where humans are like unhappy with war enough to make it go away, because it is our decision. If it has to happen, I think it should happen in Europe, and they should be punished permanently, non-ending, and tortured, non-ending for what they did. Despite that, I think that Europe is beautiful. They have very many beautiful things. The buildings are beautiful. The system is really organized. They're relatively wealthy compared to much of the world. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The money won't matter. Nothing will matter except for what God allows. And I think it's time, as I've said, for us like Muslims to get together, us Muslimun to get together. And I want ham genome out of Islam if possible. But for us Muslimun to get together, and it should be us. It should be us. Sorry, I need to get taller. It should be us that work with the Jews, because we worship the same God, of course. We don't worship a human as the Christians do. And I don't mean to insult. I like the Christians, but we do not worship a human. We worship God. The Jews, the Muslims, the Muslimun, we worship the same God. We just use, a different name because of different language, because, Hebrew is different than Arabic. Both are Semitic languages. Both have ties to Prophet Abraham, sallallahu alayhi wa salam. But, I think in the name of what we cherish as humans and our allowance to realize there is a hell and to not enter hell, I think the Treaty of Basel should be, and I'm saying this sort of early, I should spell this out, but Jews, Jews, I think the second letter should be earlier. So Jewish prophets will earlier tell you and will still arrive, as did Jesus Christ in Jerusalem, and face the consequences of what they have said in a prophetic sense. So I just wanted to say earlier, with the Treaty of my made-up Treaty of Basel, the wars should be moved out of Asia and into Europe in the name of the Jews, God's chosen people, and may God's chosen people win. And it should be the Muslims by the billion who should be defending the Jews, and let us be the persecuted for once. So let me bring this down a little bit. Let us, the Muslimun, be the persecuted. And let's forgive whoever's dead. Let them rest in peace, and whoever is living. Let's forget the evil, and let's assist the Jews. There aren't too many of them. There are millions, low number of 2-digit millions, and there are a billion of us Muslimun if we're removing ham genome eventually. So it's our duty. I think we share too much. Our background is so close to each other. And disproportionately, if you understand Islam, we're talking Asia. The Arabian Peninsula is in Asia. I think it's Al-Quds, the holy, which they also say is Jerusalem. I think in Farsi it's Urshalim, is in Asia. Israel is in Asia. Jerusalem is in Asia. I was saying Jerusalem, but Jerusalem is in Asia. So I think it's time we get together, and I announce this in Europe. Thank you. And goodbye. So, this is the end of the video, and this is the end of me staying in Europe for the moment, but I will return to Europe as I have like non-ending. There's just no hope for me to, I guess, to go to South America or to Africa or to Australia. I'm just stuck in this non-ending North America, Europe, and Asia thing, even though I love Asia, I love Europe, and I love North America. But I just wanted to say thank you, and I will in the future include different humans that I come across when I travel. I had been saying so many like out of my mind religious things and like political things, and making too many statements that may not make sense at the moment. But I wanted to ask you to please stay tuned for things in the future. And from Basel in Switzerland, I wanted to say goodbye. Thank you.